This is why it's called a plow tent shelter. Looks just like a plow on the front of your truck. That is great. Boom! What's up, guys? Welcome to the sweet outdoors. We're outdoors again, guys, and it's another shelter building. All right, this one right here. Let me back up so you can see my big butt. This one here is from what I've seen, it's called a Plow tarp tent. And once I get it set up, you'll be able to see why it's called that. But it will have a nice opening. You will need a few stakes. You will need a piece of cordage. And you will need a tree or a pole in the ground, fence post, whatever. You're going to need a good stout pole, tree. Tree would work best because it also helps with your door. And you'll see what I'm talking about. So, I got my good tarp this time, the one I keep forgetting, the Calico hammock tarp. This is the one that's got 19 attachment points, so we should be good. 3 meters by 3 meters, 10 by 10. So this is the one we're going to use today. Let me get everything ready. We'll be back. All right. Again, I don't have a cameraman, so I'm going to leave it there. I'll set the tent up, the shelter. I'll kind of explain as I go, and then I'll bring you and do a walk around and show you the different things that I've done to put it up. And hopefully it'll work out. Again, this is a 10 by 10, 3 by 3, whatever you want to call it. I've used this one before. Got our stakes, got our tarp. Let's get busy. Now, from time to time, I might have to pause, readjust, stuff like that, so be prepared. Sorry about hitting the microphone. I get used to wearing that thing, but at least now you can hear me. Let's see how many stakes I've got in here. I might have to grab a couple of more, which I don't think I will. No, this ought to be plenty. Okay, now I need to refer to a comment on my last shelter build. A comment from Cowboy Survival talking about I should be careful sticking the tent stakes in my pocket so that I don't puncture my thigh or my man goods. He's got a point. He said what he uses is an old knife sheath. So that's something to consider when setting up your shelters and, you know, doing all that stuff, is, you know, where you keep your sharp objects. I try to work as safe as possible, but, you know, accidents can happen. So that's something that you need to consider. My goodness, boy, they tied these things up pretty dang good. Let's see, there we go. Okay, I'm going back to I'm flashing back to the memory. Like I said before, I watch other people's videos when they do these, and I like to try them and maybe put my own twist on it. So according to his video, he used one piece of cordage, and that's all we're going to use if we can get it untangled. As we can see, the one that I decided to pull on is tangled the most. So let me get all this undone and we'll be back. We are back. Okay, here we go. Now, first thing we want to do, open up our tarp, and we are going to use our middle tie-off. Here's our middle tie-off. So we use our middle tie-off. Grab our cordage. Look at that, it tied itself in a knot again. Oh my goodness. There we go. So we take our cordage, run it through the middle tie-off. Now, doing the height, you do what you're comfortable with. The video I watched, the guy said sternum height was about comfortable for him. So that's what we're going to go with. Here we are. We're going to go about right there. We're going to wrap her around, tie her off. And like I said before, use whatever knot that you want to use. I'm not one of those guys that tie the fancy knots because, well, let's see, I just don't know how. And common practice is you don't know how to tie a knot, tie a lot of knots. Okay, now we want to find our middle tie off for the back. We want to pull it tight and stake it in. Now we will grab each corner and do the same thing. Pull it tight and stake it in. Now, it's windy out here, so we're going to do our best by ourselves with this flimsy tarp. I hope you guys get a good view of this. Like I said, I will bring you over here and show you a little bit more. I'll do that right now. Show you where we're at so far, so you can get a better look-see. That's where we are so far. Just like that. To the tree. 1, 2, 3. To the back. That's it. Okay, I'll try to get you a little closer. All right, now we're going to do the front. If I do this right. We're not going to do the front corner. I'm not doing the front corner. We're doing second one in. Second one in. Pull it tight. And stake it down. This is where it gets tricky because, you know, you're using a tree. Trees have roots. So, getting that perfect placement ain't always perfect. Okay, other side. Same thing. Second one in. Put our stake in. Pull it tight. While trying to avoid okay. This is basically your shelter right here. Now, you could take your door, close it off a little bit. I will show you all this. Well, I don't like doing it that way. Now this, again, this is my version of this shelter. It's not exactly perfect, but you know what? There's room in that bad boy, guys. You're basically complete right there. So let me turn this around. You're basically complete right there. Now, another thing you can do is that middle tie off right there. Tie off to that. Bring a string out here. Maybe put a stick right here and go over it to pull that up. Or if you've got another tree, anything like that will work. You can also stake these down if you like. Put some debris and stuff on there to help keep critters out. And there's your shelter. Super quick setup, guys. Nice wide opening. Now, you wouldn't normally have a fire in here because, I mean, let's face it, you wouldn't be able to put one in your tent. Now, you could probably take that, put it back, maybe a fire out here somewhere, small fire, as long as you don't catch a tree on fire, and would work pretty good. So let me sit this down again. And I'll climb in. My goodness at the room, guys. This thing is huge. This thing is huge. There is room for 3 or 4 people in here. 2 people, really comfortable with gear and everything. You could put an air mattress in here. You can look forward to this in one of my future videos. There is so much room in here, guys. You could put your little stove right here, cook your breakfast. There's room to set up. Like I said, you could pull this up, give you a little more room. This is a great shelter, guys. Took no time to build this. No time whatsoever. This is probably one of my more favorite shelters. I really like this. Really like this. I love the room. And like I told you in my other video, we learn as we go. This is the first time I've put this up, and I love it. Next time I make this, I will probably go higher with this. Now when you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to bring these sides in. It won't be as wide the higher up on the tree that you go, but you will still have plenty of room. I mean, you could go up 7 feet and make it a nice high shelter, big enough, perfect for one person. This is great. I love this shelter. I really like this. Let me get my fat butt out of here. Yes, guys, I love this. Look at the freaking room. I mean, let me back up. I'm all the way on the other side. My camera is probably a good 4 feet from me. There's so much room in here. This is great. I like this. Do me a favor while I sit here and gloat. Hit the like, the subscribe, notification, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Check us out on Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter. Excuse me. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. More to come. I promise you that, more to come. I can't wait to use this. Now, the nice thing about this shelter, well, I should go ahead and mention, wow, I just thought about it. It's warm outside right now, guys. And there's not a lot of ventilation in here. So I don't know that this would be a good warm weather shelter. The nice thing about it, though, depending on your setup, is you can turn it any way around your tree. So if the wind is coming in this way, you can turn it facing the wind and fill her up with air if you want. I mean, however you want to do it. Or block the wind in cold situations. This is a great shelter. I really like this, guys. So, let me stop. I sound like a giddy schoolgirl. Anyway, be safe. God bless. Get outside, people. Stay tuned because we got more to come. This is why it's called a plow tent shelter. Looks just like a plow on the front of your truck. That is great. More shelter builds to come, guys.